Thursday begins the weekend. Don't worry about you Friday worshipers. Don't study them people. Don't study them people. Thursday begins the weekend. Why? Because Thursday is the day that you get your money in your pocket. So that's when the weekend starts. Okay? Good morning, Christian State, Mid Island, Frederick State. Good morning, St. Thomas, Water Island, St. John. Good morning, South Carolina, North Carolina. Good morning to Florida. Good morning, New York. Hey, the five boroughs. Hey, that's the best stamping ground in the world. You know?
That exploded in the
it is just, that's one of the best states to visit if you haven't visited before, you know. But I guess right now, wait until this nonsense stops with the current occupant of the White House, you know. But otherwise, hey, it's one of the best states to visit. It's never a dull moment over there in New York, you know. Good morning, Big Sis. Good morning, KJ. Good morning, Danny. You know, all my friends all over the world. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I want to talk about something that is near and dear to me in my heart. It's called transportation. Yeah, I know, right? I'll be blowing that conch about this transportation all the time. But I want to tell you something what happened to me when it was Tuesday. You know, the bus came, picked me up, dropped me to work. Of course, Tuesday was transport day. So they dropped me to work. And when it was time to go home, I got the call at 2:45 telling me that a bus coming for me for 3 o'clock. Right? So I was like, bus coming for me for 3 o'clock. So when I said time come and gone, I called, I didn't get an answer. I called one of the driver, them, I know that was working. Here was the man tell me, oh, we done work, we gone home. So Vitron left me stranded again. Okay? And apparently I heard I ain't the only one that got stranded that day. But you know, some of these taxi drivers are vexed when you talk about this company called VI Hail. Thank God for VI Hail. VI Hail got me home that afternoon. I pulled up my app, I booked my trip, and in 5 minutes a ride was there. I got home. Okay? So, here's the thing. If you rely on Vitron, unreliable Vitron, when it got these holidays and things going on, you're going to need to download that app to your phone, learn how to use it, and I always have it as a backup because from my experience, Vitron will leave you stranded. Okay? They don't care if you got disability or can't see where you're going. They leave you stranded, okay? So, just keep that in mind. I always have a backup. I always have a plan A, a plan B, and a plan C. We deal with these people around here. So, with that said, I can get out my soapbox with that transportation thing. Because I don't know, the more they try to say they're making it better, it getting worse. What's a rah according to some people. And with that said, I want to remind the public that if you or your loved one have considerable hearing or vision loss, hearing and vision loss, the I Can Connect program is for you. Guess what? With that program, I'm going to tell you, honor the 11th commandment. And what's the 11th commandment? Never miss a freebs. You're going to get a free iPhone, iPad, or computer to facilitate distance communication between you and your loved one. You can't go wrong with that. So if you have considerable hearing and vision loss, get in touch with us at VIU said 340-692-4267. Okay, or you can visit online. Go online or have somebody go online to icanconnect.org. That's icanconnect.org to find out and learn more about the program. Okay, so if you have these two disabilities, there's a program here in the Virgin Islands, whether you live in St. Thomas, St. John, or St. Croix. Okay, this program is applied territory wide. So no matter where you live in the territory, you can get on the program. Okay, so check it out. If you have somebody that needs a iPhone, iPad, or computer that could use it, need it, and have those two disabilities, that's what you want to do. VIU said also offer short-term loans for mobility devices. When I say mobility devices, I'm talking about wheelchairs, walkers, and canes. You know, you might come into a situation where you just got out of the hospital, you don't have a wheelchair, you don't have a walker, you don't have a cane, you need one like yesterday. We're open from Monday to Friday. You know, you could give us a call, 692-4267, 340-692-4267. Come in, fill out the form, you get your device, go home. When you get your insurance kick in, you can get your wheelchair, walker, or cane from the necessary pharmacy. Then you return our stuff, you know. So, you know, and then if you are there have someone who don't need the mobility device anymore and it is in good condition, we also take donations. And the same number you call, 340-692-4267, and find out where the office is, and you can drop it off, because, you know, and we gladly take it, because there's always someone in need of something. Okay? There's always someone in need. Like just the other day, this lady called us up. Somebody just got out of the hospital, they had a stroke, they needed a wheelchair. Thank God we have one in stock. You know, and that's why we tell you, when you get your own, return ours, so that we can give it out to somebody else until they get theirs. You know, so it's a revolving cycle. Okay, there's always something there for someone in need. Okay, VIU said also do short-term loans, or not short-term loans, but low interest loans from the bank. If you need to make your house accessible for whatever reason, you need a ramp, or you need accessible devices, hearing aids, all that kind of stuff, we can get a low interest loan from Banco Popular, but you have to apply. Come to us and we set you up with the paperwork, and once you qualify, you get your loan to buy whatever device or build whatever accessibility option on your home, and the interest on the loan is low. Okay, so we have a lot of different options at VIU said. So if you're in need of anything accessibility wise, assistive technology wise, if you need assistance knowing or learning about whatever assistive technology you may need, just give us a call, 340-692-4267. We also do, guess what? We help out seniors, we help out persons with disabilities, you know, who's having problems trying to learn and get to know their cell phone. So, you know, give us a call, 340-692-4267. 4266. Make an appointment, come in, see us, we do an assessment, we show you what you need, we will teach you what you need to know. Free of charge. Now everything I told you thus far is, guess what? Free. As I said, free 99. You know, you can't beat that. We are a service to the public, whether you live in St. Croix, St. Thomas, St. John, or Water Island. The services that VIU said is for free. So give us a call. You know? Doug, what do you think about that?
I think that's a bargain. Free 99. Good morning, everybody. Doug Canton here. You know, that silly, sometimes serious guy here. Yeah. Hanging in there. And as I walk down the street, man, I ain't seen you in a long time. I said, yeah, I was at home doing my gardening, but you know, catch me on the radio every Thursday. Yeah, I hear you, da 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 da. You know, and you were talking about so and so and so. I was like, okay, no problem. I know you're listening. Anyhow, it's good to be here, to be able to share with everyone who is listening, those who decide to commune one-on-one, and everything else. But hey, there's always going to be problems. Like I tell people all the time, you know, problems is proof of life.
Sure.
And there's certain key questions you always have to ask when you find yourself leaning toward the depression sides. When it comes to challenges, just remember what problem you had that didn't work out. The thing is, it ain't no guarantee that it's going to work out when you want it and how you want it, but it always works out. So don't waste any time with worrying about things. Live life and enjoy. All right, good thing. So, Vitron left you stranded.
Yep.
Ay, ay, ay. You know, this is when people think that they're doing you a favor by providing a service, you know. Because that's where it comes down to. They are so centered and well between when I get paid and when I get a day off. That's the first two priorities. The customer, the client, the person who getting the service is the last on the totem pole. You know, they don't tell you they get paid. They don't tell you they get a day off. They they just go about their business and live their life, right? Okay, well, I said that I know I'm throwing a wide net. We have some very dedicated people out there who, given the chance, they would run things a much different way, but they're in the position where they protect others. So, all I'm going to tell you is don't get despondent. Continue to be the great employees that you are and continue to be sensitive to the people that you serve. And to the others who need some help in those two areas, well, hope springs eternal. That's all I can say for right now. Anyhow, it's another Thursday, folks. The 2nd of April. 30 days had September, April, June, and November. Yeah, so we're back in the 30 range. Good thing. So, lots of good things happen in April. A lot of folks have birthdays in April. Come back 9 months and we'll figure out. Okay, yeah. People have birthdays in April. I got a sister, a little sister who born in April. So I'll be making sure that when that day come, I don't get this
The first half or the second half?
The second half. Okay.
20 something?
Yeah.
Oh, you're a good sister, man.
Yeah. Anyhow.
Yeah, my boy, coming up too.
I got a lot of things going on, including your birthday over the next month. And we're going to talk a little bit about what's going on. The one thing that's kind of been at the forefront of my activities, and the forefront is like it's a wall, it's a line of things. I wish I could say I had one to the front. They all line up and saying either to the front. You know, that's how it'll be sometimes. It's like I always got plenty to do. Okay, um, got a lot of things going on. I continue to reach out to the community to get this information about things that are going on in the community. I see somebody brought in a poster here, and so I okay, we have a poster here. Fresh coconut water for sale every Wednesday. Today's Thursday, man. Oh Lordy. You see how I tell you that I don't give me these. So
Well,
if I wanted some coconut water from you right out a lot, because it's Thursday and this is Wednesday, right?
well, no, you wait for next Wednesday.
Okay. Okay, I guess that's a positive way to look at it. Okay? Creator winning next Wednesday. But anyhow, yeah. This is at the Bethlehem Sugar Factory. Historic Bethlehem Sugar Factory, and they're there from 3 o'clock to 4:30. And they have, you could get a gallon of fresh coconut water. You could get coconut slips. You get a dwarf and a tall one them. And you could get sugar cane juice, coconut oil, hydroponic romaine lettuce. They have a hydroponic system out there, and they, they're working with the youth and everything with these things. And it's really important that we learn about these things, because not everybody have the yard space to do it, but sometimes they have a place where they could set up a hydroponic and the water is there circulating, and get the solar power to run all of that and everything else, and get your lettuce and whatever other herbs that and plants that grow in that, and keep a fresh supply in your house. One less thing to go out and spend the money on. One more opportunity to chuck away a little money for other things that you might want to do. Okay, so anyhow, let me go down here, and they had a kite festival the other day, and I didn't hear it advertised that well. All right, and that was out there by Estate Great Pond, and they have kite flying out there from time to time. But this was a family type of event, food and drink, bounce house, showing you how to build kite, face painting, raffles and prizes and all that. I didn't hear about it. So, folks, STX EEMP Kite Festival. That park, we're gonna have to get these folks at DPNR to start sending us stuff about what they got going on, because that's the East End Marine Park, or the site we call the Camp Arawak, and we need the people to know. It's amazing. I remember making kite as a much younger person. Okay, I'm still young. What an on. But anyhow, and one of the things, for instance, is you have the manjack fruit. And the manjack fruit was one of the ways that we could make glue in making these kites. So there's a cultural aspect to kite making, where you demonstrations and things that children need to understand that, hey, MacGyver out there, he needs something, and he found a way to make it and get things to work. I remember a time I had a slow leak in a tire, and I put in a gas station and asked them to plug it, and they said, no, you got to buy a new tire. Just so. Well, I pick up a toothpick and stick it right in the hole and drive off, went about my business. The tire ain't skip a beat. Okay, the tire ain't skip a beat. So that MacGyver worked like a charm. Okay. See me here driving down the road, doing my duty in a government vehicle, and I gonna spend my money to fix a government vehicle tire and put myself at the mercy of the government reimbursing me? Oh yeah. That's a chance. That day I wasn't on tech, especially under those circumstances where I knew that I could do better in terms of taking care of it. Okay. And so we got somebody here on line one. Let's see what good news we got, what good experiences, what's going on in the community, concerns,
Before you
whatever.
answer that call,
Huh?
before you answer that call, bet you that's Mr. Nibs.
How much you want, bet?
$10.
I hear that. All right, good thing. Good morning, WSTX. You're on the air.
Happy Easter, Douglas R.
Give me money.
Okay. Yes, sir. It ain't happy. You just cost me money. Somebody bet me this, Mr. Nibs. You just cost me money.
Oh, well, you should have bet. Yeah, you would.
No, he should not bet. He should not bet. He said, how much you want bet? I said $10.
The man gonna die, man. He'll buy. Coming.
Okay. All
I
right.
get a subliminal message that he will call in. I got the subliminal message that you will call in.
Okay.
Don't trust the blind man.
The Holy Week, as some people are saying, Easter, some people say Passover. And all during the week I was thinking about it. I don't mess with anybody's religion, but I was just in my mind thinking, what is the significance of, I don't understand the palm Sunday, with the palm branches and fronds, and then the ashes on your forehead, I don't know exactly what it is. Do you know what that's all about?
No, I don't know. And then there are a lot of rituals in this earth and in this life, and depending on where you go and so forth and so on. But I don't know the significance of that. But I know one significance of Easter is that we used to have to learn a poem, a recitation. Okay? And back in them days, you had to learn the recitation. And of course, everybody watching to see who gonna bust. You know, and that's so sad in some ways because I mean, some people really took it really hard when they bust. You know, they were depressed and bawling and all this other stuff. You know, or getting teased. You know, yeah. So the today, to tell you how we have come now that we have technology, and children just go up on the stage and whip out their cell phone and read the thing.
Well, I should have that back in the day because I had to recite the act of contrition.
Well, let me tell you, right? Just right. I'm gonna close the recitation thing out simply by saying that it's just like times tables. We have skills, generational wise, that generations after us don't have because of the convenience. So they need the calculator, the cell phone. It is a tool that we can use, but the degree to which we need it is much different.
We talk about memory power.
Memory power, the ability to learn something, retain it, and bring it forward, like your timetables, which is something you're going to store all the time, or to be able to speak. Not
You saying that my trip backward, and when I was yet a boy,
A little boy.
took a liking. Huh?
A little boy.
A little boy, yeah. I took a liking to land surveying. Mr. Sidney Baptist, that was living in the area, was one of the surveyors at the time before they said white boy, Macos and them came from the States. Also, one Mr. Floyd George, not George Floyd, Floyd George, used to work at Public Works. But it was said that those guys, even though they would use the transit to cut angles and fish out mountain backside, they had a transit in their eye. So when I started learning with them and they would look at it and say, so much degrees north, so much degrees latitude this way. And I set up the instrument and if there was you know, that's how close it was. I mean, they jumped so good. Those guys did not go to no surveying school. They probably learned from a master. And eventually they were grandfathered in to the government and gave the licenses. There was another gentleman from St. Kitts, I don't remember his name now, but I hired him a lot when I was in old housing authority because he was very rough. You know, he needed work and he don't come and do your work and he's going to do it professionally. But of course he was much younger than the Baptist and George. So he went to school. I mean, he had a master's degree in civil engineering. But, you know, it just goes to show if you like something, how it stick with you. Because I love it so much. I had a trifling of it at Upper Iowa State University when I went there. Just a trifling of it. But when I was doing my at Howard University School of Engineering, electrical engineering, I still look at some of that, but I never mastered it. I mean, civil engineers did bridge, roads, and all this type of thing. And surveyors, mostly in development of land, and so forth. Now, I still have all that to come forward to Mr. Carl Knight from the Water and Power Authority. He's a civil engineer by profession. But he is running a utility that's electrical engineer. That don't mean that he don't know it or can't know it. But I feel a kind of way. Something I saw in the news, nothing in the news, and online they're talking not just about he was 15, went down, and then took down 27 and took down the other generators. And they keep saying that Unit 15 was due for a prevalent overhaul, or prevalent something. And I couldn't really understand what that was. I know that being working for WAPO, we know that these are scheduled maintenance. But then sometimes you can't take them down for the schedule because you need them. Anyway, long story short, the discussion I had with Carl Knight some months ago was to why or how is it that they want cellular units on St. Thomas that was purchased without, I don't want to say nomenclature or the correct specs. So once they get in the Virgin Islands, it was then learned that it could not interface with the plant, which is a fatful thing. I've been millions of dollars for the thing. I recall talking to one of the German engineers. I got a little bit of the German thing, but he spoke enough English to tell me that he came in for one reason, but it seems as if he's going to be here for a long time. Because even he could not get the German generator to interface with the plant at Arlington and Subbase.
Yeah.
I mean, it's also show we got to stop rushing things. We got to know what we're doing. We
Well,
have to leave space
well,
to
Mr.
correct people.
Yeah, Mr. Nibs.
Yeah, go ahead.
We have to learn. Remember what it does say. Those who don't learn from the history are doomed to repeat it.
Yeah,
And,
what's that?
and we have to learn. And unfortunately, everything that you're talking about there, you don't buy something and then come and check it to see if it works. So, but but just so for the benefit of the public, imagine that somebody go and buy a whole bunch of body cams, okay? Because they see the writing on the wall and they want to be in the position to get the contract to provide them, and so dollar signs ringing in the ears, eyes, everything. But then it turned out that they're not to spec, and on top of that, there was no requisition by which they had bid on it because it was ultimately supposed to be a sweetheart deal. I still wondering today whether they got paid when these things went to. Anyhow, you have that, okay, and I use that as an example. You have when
Yeah, but then, no, just hold your thought a minute. Now, what time was we that day?
no,
Suppose there was a Saudi.
it sounded like maybe that way it turned out well, but let me finish your point here. You see George Flynn, you see the government, the DOJ settled with Flynn for $1 million plus or whatever the case may be. Now everything in the law, including his confession, said that he ran.
Okay.
But he got friendly people in DOJ, so they gonna give him $1 million. But anyhow, another thing, when it comes to computers, Apple computers are a little bit on the pricier side, right? You could get PCs much cheaper, but they break fast like that. So you end up having a higher cost of ownership because of that. All right, because it'll be cheap because it'll buy the cheapest components possible, okay, to make them. Then you have the what's the name of these new cheap computers?
Lenovo?
No. Not Microsoft. The other Google or something.
Oh, Chrome?
Chrome. They have these things called Chromebooks. Well, we went out, as I understand it, and buy millions of dollars worth of Chromebooks, and then came and told the people for IT, okay, make it work. Not knowing that Chromebooks and Microsoft is like oil and water at that time, and let's go figure. Okay? So millions of dollars spent, and so I'm telling you, we need to learn.
No, but that's a common thing in government.
That's why I said we need to learn.
Yeah, common thing in government. They would buy the cheapest piece of crap and expect you to try to make it work. Just like the Wazellas they went and buy. That's why they got all the outage right now.
Let me finish out something quick with what there.
Okay.
So my point of comment was, why is it that whenever you try to interface the Wazellas, they pull the G and the Westinghouse down, they pull the whole plant down? I mean, from minutes to hours to days to weeks of our outage. And but then I said to him now, so the BBI has the same what sellers. How come they are doing that? And then he takes me to be funny. I'm not being funny. I'm telling you what it is. Like, I wasn't the door after last week. I wasn't going to plan because I done some work with an engineering company that does work.
Okay, well let's put that there to rest. Okay, if you set up the system right, there's no interface problem. But when you bring the wrong tool to the job, you end up spending more because you need to get the right tool. Of course, if you can't afford to buy the right tool, you just spend all your money on the wrong tool. You know, that's another story.
Thank you.
Now let me close this discussion out on this point here. You know, if you need 90 megawatts of power sometimes at peak, but most of the time you need 20, and medium times you need 40. Well, if you buy three 30 megawatt machines, that means you can have 30 when you only need 20. You could kick in another one when it's going close to the top production of that past the 30. And when you have peak, you could bring in that other one for peak. But if you go out and you buy just one 90 megawatt generator, it has to run at 90 megawatts all the time. And you know what that means? Fuel. Fuel. Now, I'm saying this and I'm putting it in such simplistic terms because this is something we have been suffering with over the years. Now, when we used to produce steam, it meant that a generator was actually 2 or 3 because the steam was used to run steam turbines. Right. Okay. So I'm saying you have these different strategies by which you can leverage what you have. So they have to explain to me now what they have now and why they have it. And if you trace it, you'll see a set of decisions being made. Like for instance, the tree trimmers. It had this one person was advocating for us having our own capabilities in tree trimmer. And soon as they got to be in charge, they dropped that plan and they went to subsidizing a contractor. Okay, so I'm saying these decisions are being made, and what we need is maybe a historical documentary of how we got where we are today, so people can understand why they need to be even more mad than how mad they are now.
And with that said, right, I want to just add this here. Follow the money. Who holding the envelope? Who holding the envelope? Yeah. Follow the money. Who holding the envelope after the deal done cut?
Give me a thought. And you got right where I was going. I am sure anyone that listens to talk shows has heard me say over and over that the best way to hide money, follow it, get it under the table or whatever, is to do contracts. I mentioned that public works department that had a responsibility for maintaining government buildings is to pick up, push everything and contracted out. That is by design. By God. Last night sometimes somebody called me, I tell you something, I said, what happened? What happened? You will see, they said it. The Commissioner of Public Works now is another one that seemingly, because of these contracts given, they have the feds, the FBI took his cell phones with an S, a lot of phones, and his laptops. I mean, you see what these young boys and lads getting themselves into.
Well, you know, there's a thing called conflict of interest, and there's a and they let me finish before you pounce on that there, and then you have disclosure, because if I have a business that provides a service and there's nobody else that provides a service, or let's say, but I am going to be providing for somebody I work for, then that needs to be up, right above board so everybody could know. Because then they have the other tools to make sure what the reasonable cost for those services are, so that in fact the government could get what it needs, and in this case through the sole source. Now it's up to other people in the area of business to enter into those areas of business and give the government more choices. But the key is how to do it without inviting corruption. Okay, and it can be it and can well conflict of interest and yeah, corruption. But anyhow, the bottom line is there are ways to do it. Okay, and this is something even at WAPA they've had these type of situations. But I give you an example now. We have scholarships for a person to become engineers. They come back, they do their they come back, they do their time, and they leave.
Right.
We need some type of program that encourages the fruits of our scholarships to take an entrepreneurial track to be able to provide services that we right now we have to go to Puerto Rico or mainland to bring people in to do.
Right.
And then the company comes in and all of a sudden you have a reunion with some people that you know because they're working for that company.
You gotta actually gotta feed us trained people.
Yeah. Anyhow,
Before,
point me, we need to move on.
before you go, before you go, Mr. Nils.
Yeah, the more competitive bidding.
Uh-huh.
How competitive is it when what is being done now with government, where you're sharing to the bidders what the exact sale is that competitive bidding or soldering?
Well, I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to tell you this before you go. Yesterday, I was privy to pass by the Pali Joseph Stadium site. Well, what they put up there, they tear down the stadium and they put up a shanty. I was like, but wait, even a blind man can see something wrong here. Okay? They put up a shanty in place. So I'm glad that you say they take away that fella's cell phone and computers and things. Because somebody have to pay for that criminal list when they perpetrating on St. Croix. Somebody have to pay for that.
You see now, I hear the emotional appeal there because what's the link between that person and what happened over the past however many years?
He's commissioner.
That's not the way it works. That's not the way it works. In other
other
words,
isn't he the overseer?
no, but you're not. You see, you're bossing forward like a bull in a china shop with red in front of you. I'm trying to tell you something, but if you don't want to hear what I have to say, then I won't say it. We could always move on. Okay?
So,
No, I'm saying that the person in charge is the person you hold accountable in terms of from a supervisory perspective. If you're really going to deal with it, why are you going to set up somebody so somebody 10 years ago could do something? Brother, you have to turn down your phone or something. I keep hearing this thing coming up. Or your radio or whatever. What good is it to let somebody do something criminal 10 years ago and somebody come in trying to fix it and you put them there in jail? That makes sense to you? No, could you answer the question? Okay, well, this is what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying with the emotional thing. We have to look at it in terms of the accountability and the investigation to find exactly where and hold the people up. Otherwise, you're going to have people doing things in a way to hide it. And then the people up here going to get, and then eventually people going to say, you know what, me want that job. I don't want that job. Why want to go to jail for something I didn't do? If we follow your logic, right? And that's what I'm saying. And the fact of the matter is, you cannot have competitive bidding if people already know at what, exactly, right? But I'm saying, Mr. Nance, let's put the facts on the table as to where, what happened and how. Otherwise, we could speculate and go on and extrapolate. Anyhow, it's about 9 minutes before the hour. I want to get in a few things here before the top of the hour. Okay.
So you have a happy Easter.
Yeah, I might come back later.
All right, no problem.
No problem.
Okay, right.
All right, the door is locked.
Don't lock yet.
You got to run it yet. Anyhow, folks, last Saturday the 28th, VI Waste Management Association had a flyer going around, say roll with us, the pop-up trash card sale. So you could get 2 of these trash bins for $75 each, which is a deal. So me and my slow self, okay, fast self, however you want to look it, I went down there to pick up a couple. I got a family place that need a new one. I don't have one at all. So I figured, so let me go down there. Lord Harry, the judge, the amount of car and people down there, I reached, I said, no, sir. Let me find out how I could get them the money up front and then call me when my income in. Because it was a Saturday and I don't got all these things lined up to do. I figured I could just roll in, get these people my money and roll out. It's like when they got free thing given away down there by the complex and they got a long line and traffic back up on the main road and everything for people coming in to get, you know, get their share of whatever. But you know, I'm happy at the response because it means that one, people could see a deal, and also people are moving toward compliance in terms of getting the type of bins that is going to upgrade how things work for waste management. Eventually, one of these days, we might even have some them truck around here where the truck just roll up, take the bin, lift it up, dump it, put the bin back down, and move on. Right? Yeah, folks, it'll work like that. Just like you see these boys out there struggling with these all these carts at the supermarket. Well, I said in the States, because that's where I was when I saw it, they have these little motorized things, so they get all the cats, and by the time you're done, the motorized thing pushing the cats. See when you're struggling with all these cats and putting them around. Okay, and it's technology. It's technology. So anyhow, for whatever it's worth, I went to the pop-up trash card sale, and hey. instant headache, disappointment. I said, no, not today. I go see if maybe they'll do a thing, which maybe they should do, which is that, hey, you want to order yours, and when they come in, we call you and you come and pick it up, because they're not going to lose. They're not going to lose. So if half of it is already sold when they come in, the other people could come and line up and get the other half, right? Okay. Yeah. I see that the folks at Sager Farm is having some classes here with Chef Sean Skerritt and Masaja Brown and Jael Paul. Okay. And it was started from back in March going through to today. These are Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, and they're using this as a way of teaching lifelong skills, healthy food preparation, and meal planning, emphasizing the use of local nutrient-rich ingredients. You know, so that's why I don't go out in my yard and I see these the popololo, and then they'll come up when they get ready, but parsley left and right, you know, parsley and spinach ain't too far apart, you know. But they grow like that to the point of being a nuisance. But maybe it's not a nuisance. Maybe it's food. We just need a different perspective. Now, if you're one of them people that don't like greens and vegetables, then I can't help you. For me, whether it's collards, kale, whatever, I love it all. Okay, that's me. All right. But they're serious. They're serious, because if you sign up for these things, and this is one of the things that got me, and in the course of doing these classes, if you miss 2 classes, boom, you're out. Your GPA gone too low, you're expelled. So that's good. We're serious. You really want to learn something? You really want to stick with us and do these cooking classes? Fine, no problem. But if you're serious, let somebody else who is come. Okay?
Only if you teach a blind man though.
Hey, I don't know about teaching, but I know a blind man who does cook. So,
Yeah, we.
okay. I mean, don't tell everybody, because then they go in your house to get food.
I want to teach you.
Anyhow, St. Croix electricians. All right, I see here that there's electricians meet on Wednesday, April 8th from 12:30 to 4:30 p.m. at the UVI's Research and Technology Park. St. Croix electricians meet. This is WAPA and DPNR. Yep, because you know you gotta get your permit and then you gotta let WAPA install the meter and whatever. Hey, so it's good you have that rapport and have this electricians meet go on. Okay. Now that same week, starting from the 9th to the 12th, we have the literary festival and book fair is going to be going on. And they have different activities going on. I can just skim real quick because Thursday we have, from before Thursday even, we have a lot of folks flying in to attend, but we have people flying in to participate. And from that Thursday, we got them flying out to the schools to meet with the children and do their presentations and so forth and so on. And so they literally, by the time they get out the plane, they're moving. And then that Thursday evening, there's a welcoming ceremony at Government House. Okay, fast forward now into Friday. Okay, because Friday on UVI at the Great Hall, things kick off there, and that program goes until maybe 2-3 in the afternoon, and then later on at 5 o'clock, they move from there. And say they move, they don't disband and gone to get whatever, and meet down in Frederickstead at the Caribbean Museum Center for the Arts for the book Bacchanal. Folks, they're going to have entertainment. The Moko's going to be there doing their thing. They're going to have a cash bar, food for sale. They're going to have various authors who are going to be there to talk about their books. And there's one new book there I saw being advertised by Sean Pennington, Consider the Source. And anyhow, it sounds interesting. I would like to know what the book is about in the context of whether or not it's something that I want to on my shelf, or maybe just borrow a friend one and read it and return it back. Okay. Yeah. And that's just one of many authors that are going to be there that evening. So it's going to be a lot of fun that Friday night from 5 p.m. to 8:30 at Caribbean Museum Center for the Arts. Now, Saturday is an early start, and I call it an early start because they have the Bush Tea Breakfast Social. And you know, Bush Tea Breakfast, how many 7 o'clock you're going to have food? And you're going to have all kind of nice food. But you know what? This whole Lit Fest thing, you could get tickets to it through Eventbrite. Okay? And I'm saying for the range of food that they have, if you pay $40 for a ticket and you come there with somebody and both of you could have a full breakfast, okay? That's a bargain because you got all that's going on with this program, some of which we still ain't get to, that is going on. That's a bargain, so make sure you're there. I gonna be there, and I gonna be there early to make sure you don't come and eat it all up. Anyhow, share, be nice. Anyhow, but seriously speaking though, they have everything: quiche, chop, deviled eggs, pate, fritters, the bush tea, of course, the coffee, of course, the water, of course, and among other things. Anyhow, I ain't gonna miss it. Am I gonna see you there? I hope so. All right. Good thing. So after everybody get their bush tea and the food and everything and settle in, there are different presentations by various authors and other people in the community, book readings, poetry, other things, some entertainment in between. And that takes you into the afternoon. All right. Now, that's again at the Great Hall at UVI. But later on in the day, they go down to Cane Roots Art Gallery right here in Christiansted, and where they have the Ekphrastic poetry event. And Ekphrastic is not castor oil, folks. And I know it kind of sound like Ekphrastic. Some people frightened when they hear that me going there. No, it's just a term that basically means you look at a work of art for all purposes, and that art speaks to you, and you write a poem telling people what I tell you. No different than if you catch Dobby in the right spot, he'll sing a song for you and make up something that rhyme, right? Okay, so hey, they have hors d'oeuvres, they have some wine for those people who are allergic to cheese. And I understand that, if they have some cheese there with it, please eat your cheese responsibly. We don't want these guardrail and mahogany tree getting take out and have a oily death because of too much cheese. Okay, so eat your cheese responsibly. All right. So you're gonna have other authors there and other poets and everything. It's a great social environment with fun. But you know what? If your poem is the most impressive in some way to the folks who are going to be judging, you could win some MONEY and other prizes. Okay, so that's the Ekphrastic poetry event that Saturday evening. Now, Sunday from 11 to 4 at the children's, going back to Ekphrastic, that's 5:30, okay, in Christiansted Cane Roots Art Gallery. So come now to that's the Saturday, the Saturday afternoon, evening. So now you have on Sunday, you have the Children's Literary Festival, which goes on from 11 to 4, and it's at the Children's Museum of St. Croix. Now, for those of you who don't know, the Children's Museum of St. Croix has a home. 25 Estate Carlton, for a while they were out there with the kata and the bundle going here, there, and doing the things for the children. The commitment was there to be seen on the road, but now they have a home also at 25 Estate Carlton. That don't mean that they don't go out and do things on the road still, because they are very much committed to the museum and its benefits to our children. All right. So in this festival, children are going to deal with things like making their own books, they're going to have story reading, they're going to have local authors there as well as other authors, and they're going to have book giveaways. All right. And I'm going to just mention here that in terms of the Children's Literary Festival, that First Bank jumped in and did a special sponsorship for that. Of course, they're working in conjunction with the other sponsors from folks in the Literary Festival and Book Fair, including UVI and others. But in a minute, I'll talk more about sponsors. But I wanted you to see that from Thursday, folks start arriving here, and folks that came in early so they could get a little vacation time before they jump into the literary thing, as well as those who are here. They go into the schools, they're meeting with the students. Later on that night, they have the welcome thing. And Friday, we're at the Great Hall in the morning into the afternoon. And then that evening, we're at Caribbean Museum Center for the Arts for the book Bacchanal. And then Saturday, we start off with that wonderful breakfast, walk our way into the afternoon with all these different presentations, other good things. I want to mention on Saturday, they have a movie screening. Okay, Katime Sitaram is there to show the movie, not maybe the whole thing, but to talk about the inspiration and everything else in that context. But they're going to have a screening going on. So let me let Kathy decide how she's going to do that. But well, among the other things that are going on there, okay? And then that evening, the Saturday evening, ekphrastic poetry in Christiansted, and then Sunday you have the Children's Literary Festival. Now, there's a writer's Rugodu that also goes on Sunday, but that is later on in the day, and it is online. If you want more information about what all is going on for the Literary Festival and Book Fair, just go to their website, USVI Lit Fest, FEST.com. And it's right there. It'll click on the link and it'll show you the whole list of things that's going on. And that way you can have an idea of the things that are of interest to you. But one of the things that they're going to be talking about is this thing called AI and the impact on the literary community, the anticipated impact to come, and impacts on the community. It's been a very interesting discussion up to this point, and it's going to, now that it's more developed, I expect that it's going to be very interesting to see what AI means in terms of jobs, in terms of literary exploits, writing books, and so forth and so on. Yep, so the Literary Festival and Book Fair coming up next week, folks. Mark your calendar, mark it again, and definitely, who knows, I'll see you there. All right.
Hey,
I thought it's the top of the hour, but but we got to send the marshal for the marshals.
Quick top of the hour. It is 9 or 10 minutes past 9. You're listening to WSTX AM 970. Your community-minded station. Number to call it 340-773-0390 or 340-773-0490.
Okay. I know that you've done that. I want to continue on in the community calendar because we have a tennis championship a tournament coming up on the 15th through the 26th, and that's Beeston Hill Tennis Club. So just mark your calendar for that. Okay, we got the Breast and Prostate Cancer Conference coming up. Yeah. Give me a second. Let me finish the thought here. Breast and Prostate Cancer Conference coming up Friday, April 24th and Saturday, April 25th, and that's going to be at UVI at the Albert A. Sheen Campus Great Hall. Okay, and with that, I'll pause the community calendar because the marshal is here and she has the ultimate power. Let me check and see she ain't got a little silver bracelets on her right now, so I save for a while.
We gotta take a break. People will be back after these messages. We gotta keep the lights on, keep the mics on. We'll be back.
When we're not talking, you'll hear all your favorite songs, including calypso, jazz, love song, gospel, and those country legends, giving you more music variety. This is AM 970 WSTX.
April 17th and 18th, Arch Institute youth leaders will have two fundraisers to help support their sharing and learning excursion to India.
On Friday evening, starting at 6 p.m., it's game night and karaoke. Come on with your entire family. It's a $5 donation fee.
On Saturday, we will have a food sale. Roast pork, chicken, fish, and a vegan menu containing all the usual trimmings. Donation of $18 per plate. We will be looking for you on April 17th and 18th at 22D Estate La Grande Princess in the yard at A+ Signs, straight across from Titan's gas station. See you there!
On your mark, get set, here we go, Let's go to the racetrack, the #1 gas station. Let's go to the racetrack, lowest prices on the island. Let's go to the racetrack, for drinks, hot dogs or pizza. Let's go to the racetrack, we're open 24 hours. #1 convenience store, everything you want and more. Racetrack, we have the cheapest price on gas, whatever you need just ask. Racetrack, racetrack, racetrack gas station. Start your engine, get ready. Everybody follow me to racetrack, racetrack. Feeling hungry, tank on empty. Don't worry, cause we going to racetrack, racetrack. Racetrack gas station and convenience store, located on the 8th Street, right across from the Sugar Estate Post Office, with the lowest gas prices on the island. Racetrack gas station, we are number one.
AM 970 WSTX.
That was a quick break, eh? We're back. We are back. And so is the community calendar.
Yep. Still got more to talk about, it's just like you have to make sure that when your horse races that the animal get exercise.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so I have to exercise and do the community calendar. Anyhow, before we took the top of the hour break, after the top of the hour break, I was talking about the Breast and Prostate Cancer Conference coming up on April 24th and 25th. And this one is being put on by the Yvonne Ashley Gallagher Breast Cancer Foundation. Of course, we know other organizations have been doing similar things also, including the Department of Health in conjunction with nonprofit organizations. And it's one of those things that you can't have too much education on this. It's wreaking havoc in our community, and we need to be aggressive as far as educating the public about these things. Okay. Okay, so that's something talking out there. Okay, good thing. If you follow what's going on with this, we'll be talking about it in the upcoming weeks leading up to the conference itself. And there are ways that you can call the conference live. And I don't know if they're going to be streaming it or what the game plan is, but we will see what the plan is, and we'll roll with the plan. Okay, good thing. St. Croix celebrates the 4th annual Neurodiversity Day, celebrating every mind. Okay, and this is at the Beeston Hill Tennis Club. They're going to have games, sensory activities, crafts, yoga. They're going to have food trucks on the site. Yes, 4th annual Neurodiversity Day. All right, good thing. Now, I came across this. Ribbons for a Cure Incorporated has the 2026 scholarship that they're offering, and the application deadline is Thursday, April 30th, folks. Thursday, April 30th, okay? And the eligibility requirements, it is available for USVI residents, graduating senior high school student, or currently enrolled in an accredited college or university, vocational, trade, or business school. The person must be a cancer survivor or parent or guardian that have had or currently have cancer, have a cumulative GPA of a minimum of 2.5, preferably higher. I encourage you to reach for the higher heights, but 2.5 is the floor. Okay? It's always easier to start off high, because if anything happens and make you drop, you got a cushion. Mm-hmm. All right. So as I mentioned before, the application deadline is Thursday, April 30th. Okay? Now, this poster that's floating around has a QR code on it. And ribbons for a cure.net, www.ribbonsforacure.net. Okay. They have an email, ribbonsforacure@outlook.com. and they have Ribbons for a Cure on Facebook. Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right. So definitely check it out. Okay. Um, oh my goodness. Gerard,
Yes, sir.
Trip Spark. Okay. Is it still working? The Trip Spark with Vitron passengers?
The who?
A new scheduling and dispatch system.
Is it working?
Yeah.
That's the name, right?
Well, I telling you what they had announced. I just curious. I just came across it. Anyhow.
it I guess.
Okay.
It's in place, but
Okay. Anyhow, you know, folks, I always telling you about going to Caribbean Community Theater. Okay, and this season they had some good stuff there. They had the play that goes wrong, and of course that finished last weekend, weekend before. But anyhow, I was there. I saw it, and literally everything that go wrong went wrong. Okay, everything that could go wrong went wrong, including before the play came on, WAPA went off. So be careful where you name it, folks. The play that goes wrong, WAPA say you can't go more wrong now. We bap like that.
everything I wrong. Yeah, even the internet, the data for your phone. I mean, don't get me started.
Okay, no, I don't mind you getting started. You getting me started. The play that goes wrong, the internet that goes wrong. I have to say that it is my observation that internet-wise, telecommunication-wise, we're going backwards. All right?
Backwards?
Backwards. Okay?
Yes.
How fast we going backwards, I don't know, but we're going backwards.
Very fast.
Because the place, the amount of dead spots that you have and weak reception have increased. Now, what I suspect is that if you are in the wireless communication business, you have to have transmitters, and these transmitters go on towers, and these towers bill you rent for putting your transmitter there. So I believe that in terms of saving costs, that the folks out there are not putting their transmitters up at all the places, the key places that they, and in some cases taking them down from places where they used to be. For instance, if I remember after Maria, everybody would be lined up on the bypass here in Christiansted because at that time they could get signal through AT&T and could get in touch with friends and family around the world. Okay? Now I can tell you that you lucky if you there on top of, let's say, Queen Cross Street. Queen Cross Street meaning you're coming from the boardwalk, walking that road all the way up. Okay? You'll get some decent signal. But if you turn left or right on that hill, things will get bad really, really quick. I'm living it. I know it. I see it.
But dog.
Okay? So, coming to you. Hold your thought. Don't lose your thought. The thing that is of most concern to me is that we're setting up an accident to happen where people are going to die because they cannot reach 911, or in the event that the internet is down, all of the alarm systems that you have are going to be of no use to you in bringing help. And I'm saying, like, why we just go and wait for bad things to happen and then everybody's scrambling trying to do the right thing. I remember when I was at WAPA, a young man got electrocuted. And all of a sudden, the safety concerns and making sure we have tailgate meetings and all this other stuff and whatever. I said, wait, no, are you doing that all along? You know? Anyhow, I digress. I don't, you know.
Are you aware that on this little island, okay, and I'm going to say it clearly, on this little island, because of the terrain, you need at least 10 cell sites to get proper coverage.
Well,
Are you aware?
Well, let me say this to you. In that regards, we may need at least 10 sites, but when you start going La Valley, North Shore areas, when you start going East End, you need more than just towers in a traditional sense. We need a public-private partnership. WAPA needs some more money. We need some strategic repeaters along the path, because that path going to take you where people live.
Right.
So right now, the amount of towers we need is not as much the issue as the plan toward how you're going to get broader coverage.
But that's what you need.
Okay.
That's
Now,
one of the things you need. That then the mini towers on the poles will enhance.
okay. Now, for instance, let me give you an example of something else. You've been with me out by the casino.
Yeah.
Okay, we weren't inside the casino. People were out by the casino. Anyhow,
You might gotta get out there. I think.
let me see if it's WSTX.
Yes, you know, I am back and I was had something in mind to talk about, but as I heard you all talking about internet connectivity, speed or lack thereof, I feel I have to say something about it.
How about just internet service? Period.
Yeah, because you know.
Yesterday on another talk show, that same thing came up. And while it is well and good to talk about the way that what were the things that Mr. P used to be putting in the cable there that go on with that?
Fiber optics.
Fiber optics. It's nice to say we have all of that. But for the end user connection and the proper devices that needs to go there is why the children in the Virgin Islands can't use iReady as they do in the States, because you need a reliable source of electricity and internet connectivity. Now I'm trying to tell me if I'm wrong or right.
No, well, you're right, but let me tell you what happens here. From the time power go out, you look on your phone and the thing that says 5G disappear. Because they don't, the folks who run these towers and whatever other equipment don't have backup power to keep the 5G running. So it dropped down to LT. Okay? Now, so these are things that anybody could see happening when the power goes out. That's not Doug here saying you have exclusive information or anything like that. All right? But let me give you another situation how we create problems. I was mentioning to Gerard when we were done by DV for some non-gambling purposes. Okay, that when you well, that's fine. That's for your entertainment. Anyhow, as long as you can pay your rent and your child support and all these other things. Anyhow, but don't respond to that. But anyhow, when you're in that parking lot, your access to wireless connectivity, meaning to make a phone call, is practically non-existent.
Imagine that.
No, and you know the
Depends on your career.
no, but it's not just the carrier. It's not just the carrier because when you reach a certain point away from the place,
Mm-hmm.
you're getting signal, not
Mm-hmm.
just the carrier. Well, what I'm saying is this, right? Imagine somebody come out the place, getting ready to go in the car, and realize, oh Lord, the mortgage due, and I just didn't win all I thought I was gonna win, and they have a heart attack right there on the spot. If you know, and some good Samaritan right there pull out the phone and say, let me call 911, and you can't get a signal.
Well, it might have been better if you call 119.
Anyhow, the point is somebody's gonna die.
Seriously, and this is in your area. Tell me, are these things fixable?
Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. But let me you know, I always talk with Debbie Christopher, and Debbie Christopher, of course, EMT slash out there with the ambulance and everything else, and she will tell you about the time she had to respond to when Melvin H. Evans had a heart attack. Okay, um, and what they didn't have on the ambulance that they were asking to have on the ambulance. And after the heart attack and everything else that came out of that, they found the resources to make sure they start having that particular um, drugs and things on the ambulance. But you see, the thing is, it shouldn't have to take somebody important having a heart attack and dying. Well, you know, I'm just saying this is something that we have to look at. If you're in the wrong part of this island and there's a car accident and somebody there bleeding out, you can't get a signal. What's in a world where we're so much more dependent on internet access for commerce and everything else, why are we going in the opposite direction? Where we expanding our dependence but have less access?
It makes me wonder.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, as long as they could get away with it, they're gonna continue, and that's that because the people who have to invest in this equipment to do what needs to be done, they don't want to invest in it unless somebody can pay for it for them or whatever, because their focus is on shareholders. That's where we are today. So when we look at these international companies that come into the Virgin Islands and buy up the companies that are here, it's just like food stamps. It's a guaranteed flow of income. So if they can then cut down on the amount of cost involved in running that business, then they get to keep more money. Okay?
You know, Doggy, I would hope that government officials listen to a lot of what is because I don't know. There's a thing, I mean, what do they call it? Constructive criticism is good for your soul.
Not in this case.
No, Mr. Nibs.
Doggy, tell me why.
Miss,
Why would any company that have sense want to come to this board in Ireland with no reliable electricity, internet service,
Well,
sewage running in the streets,
le-
no school? You tell me why.
okay, well, I gonna tell you why. I gonna tell you why an international corporation will come here and set up and know that WAPA could go out and they can. Okay, it's that the bill comes to you every month and you got to pay. I ain't hear none of them say they give a rebate on anything. Okay, because WAPA was out the equivalent of 7 days in 1 month. They didn't bill you for just 21 days of service. They bill you for 30, 31, 28, whatever the month dictated. Right. And I'm saying to you that is why. Okay? Because we don't have a system set up where they have to report downtime and prorate the bill based on that downtime. When we put that in place, then you'll see a change because then they have an incentive. Uptime means money. Downtime means loss of money. But right now, we have downtime and we the people. This is the thing. But Batam Belly and all of them, they're rolling in the grave. Okay? Bodo rolling in the grave. Because if every 3 months or every year or every other year it had the type of uprising to say, that hey, the spirit of Fireborn is alive, then the leadership would respond. But when you said what you said about talk show, brother, they love talk show, okay? Because it helps to diffuse all the energy, and people go home and go sleep or cook or whatever, and forget what the problem till the next talk show. Okay, and I'm not making fun of my people. I'm just stating the fact. I just stating the fact. You know, I had to do wellness check on Foy when he stopped coming to the radio station and thing come to find out the man healthy and strong. But he now have a testimony to give that one person can't make a revolution. A revolution is people. And the people say, keep making noise for it. Keep making. We love your noise for it. But when it comes show up to protest or whatever, he went alone out there with his sign.
Okay, hold your thought right there because this is how what we call right. Whatever it is, this is how simple-minded some of us think. You know, there was a lot of them said, "Oh boy, empty bar and make the most noise." I mean, what foolish thing you're talking about at the time? Dougie, in any state, and you travel the states a lot, in any county, when 10 people is in the street with the devil, it's 10, thousands of them, millions in the street.
Yeah, well, what you see now, the empty barrel is, we have our old time sayings, and it is applicable in some situations to use that old time saying, okay?
Yeah.
But the reality is, a conch shell have a cavity that empty, and without that cavity, you can't make no sound. Line two already. Okay, so the bottom line is somebody got to make the noise. Okay, somebody got to blow the quote unquote conch shell. Anyhow, I got a caller here on line 2. Huh?
Yeah.
I got
Quick.
quick. I got.
There's one talk show who believes she knows more than anybody.
Oh, God.
Don't.
That's certified. Wait, that's certified by a teacher. Yet and still, she will call people like me a vociferous minority. Why she say that? Because the majority ain't saying a damn thing because they like it so, or they perpetuate it, the foolishness.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you should
Yeah.
take that as a compliment and hope that it
yeah.
catch. Take it as a compliment. I
Well,
got somebody on line 2.
Yeah, you go right there.
Okay.
All
All
right.
right. Talk with you.
And with that said, Dougie,
Yeah. I just put
yeah.
up on line 2.
Good morning, caller.
Good morning.
Okay, could you hold 1 second? Could you hold 1 second?
Actually, the day before that too, Mario and there's more.
Is he listening?
That the issue with our people is we don't like to make sacrifices anymore. That we want other people to make sacrifices. So people will complain to Coach Boy. So Coach Boy will go in the air and talk. Coach Boy will go and protest, but they won't show up. They won't help. They won't back him.
Right. Okay.
And that is our problem.
We are all.
We are a society that does not want to make the slightest of sacrifice. We want change. We want something different. But we don't want anything to change in our life. We don't want anything to. We want somebody else to make the sacrifice for us.
Right.
We want the senators to do it.
Okay.
We want, you know, the talk shows. We want the, people like Coach Floyd to do it.
I
So like Coach Floyd out there, protesting WAPA. That there ain't other people besides Coach Floyd who have a problem with WAPA.
yeah, exactly, exactly. Jared, you were saying something?
Yeah, but it wasn't. It was not towards that. But it was. I was just gonna put on my AT hat for a little bit, my system technology hat, to say, the other day we had the text to 911 training, and fortunately enough, if you have the latest iPhone, like iPhone 15 or so, if you're in an area that don't have signal, it's supposed to automatically pick up the satellite. Signal where you can text to 911.
Well, let me ask.
Okay.
Let me ask you something. In that training, does it text to our local 911?
Yeah, it did.
Okay. All right. Good. Okay. So we're making some progress, but I don't want to encourage them for us not to have signal.
No, I know, but there's a
Let's get back to our caller here. Yeah. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, but that is this is where we're at. We have gone from Otto and Queen Mary, who are, and the other queens who made the ultimate sacrifice, and they had to have known their lives were on the line, and but they were willing to do it and to lead people, and they had other people who came out with them.
Well,
So if it was just them, we wouldn't know about them.
exactly.
They would have disappeared, but there were other people too that were brave enough and were willing to make the sacrifice. But now we have come to a society where we don't know, there's few people that are willing to make the sacrifice. And you can't, as you just said, you can't have a revolution with just one or two people.
Well,
And it's really, I see it from the education. It's our education system that has dwindled too, and it's not coincidentally.
well,
To get an education, you have to make sacrifices.
yes.
You have to stay home and study.
Well, let me.
You have to, instead of being out in the streets or playing all day, you have to say, okay, I have to go and study my timetables or whatever.
Right. Well, let me put a spin on this. Let me put a spin on this for you for in a second here, and that real quick, because what the future holds, in some ways, has to make us be very concerned, because we are in an environment today where we're not teaching the importance and role of sacrifice. We give a child a $1,000, $1,500 phone. We give them a computer. We give them internet. But they never look at the WAPA bill. They never look at the phone bill. They never look at the internet bill. They're just entitled in a sense, because we're teaching them to be entitled. So later on they're going to be, who moved my cheese? And who said that you had cheese, that your cheese was there waiting for you? So now the concept of what Bado and Queen Mary and them did and so forth, even to Martin Luther King, we have a holiday that most people don't really appreciate, the fact that this man was assassinated and beat up and bitten by dogs or whatever, all these things, and that he was surrounded by these thousands of people, and that is how it happened, not just him one. So right now the future is looking very, very concerning to me, because in terms of a base of people,
ironically, it's due to the increase in technology.
yep.
So your older people are not talking to younger people as much anymore. You see people there with their children, and the child is on their phone or their tablet. When they're driving, conversations used to take place, but they're not taking place
Dinner
anymore.
table.
They they think that things just came, that they are able to do the things they're able to do just because they don't realize people made sacrifices to enable them to be able to do what they did. When we were growing up, we used to hear about it. We knew about it. We knew about the struggles of our parents and what their parents were doing because we were there for the conversation. We weren't at the dinner table with our cell phone. And I don't even know if people have at dinner table period. So we heard about the sacrifices. The children don't know. There's a comedian I just saw the other day on the internet, and he was talking about his son. And he said his son asked for a graduation party. He said, fine, but you have to write thank you notes and send out thank you notes after. So the son agreed. He said after a while, saw that nothing was happening, so he asked the son, well, why did you send out the thank you note? He said, well, I need those stickers. And the man was like, stickers? And he was like, yeah, the stickers to mail things out. And he said, you mean stamps? And he was like, yeah, stamps. And then the guy said, it got worse. The guy sent them out. And then afterwards, he started to get phone calls from people. And were like, well, I got this thank you card, but there was no note inside.
Anyhow, I got a call on line 1, but I got a call on line 1, but I feel so bad. I hear your voice in a long time, and to think you're delivering laughs today. All right.
Have a happy Easter.
Okay. All right. Take care. All right. Good day, WSTX.
You're on the air.
Good morning, Douglas. Good morning, Gerard.
Hey, good morning, Mr. Grant.
And Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you, too. And Happy Easter.
Yesterday, when everybody was playing a fool, I was wishing, yesterday was my first of all, my sister went in with her, my sister Maureen, her birthday. But yesterday was also New Year's Day for those who don't know, who's listening. That's why they really put it on the calendar as April Fool's Day. Because when they telling people January 4th, which is 11 days after the winter solstice, they tell people it's a new year. No. It's a new year when I look out my window and I see the cherry blossoms them and I see the leaves coming out on the tree. That's a new year to me. And to make it even better, Sunday is my birthday. Which is what they're celebrating on Sunday, Easter. And only reason they're celebrating Easter on my birthday Sunday because last night if you look up at the sky you saw full moon. So this is the fourth full moon after spring equinox. Now, to Mr. Canton, I heard you said something earlier as I was laying down. You said that having a 30 megawatt generator means that you have to run the generator at 30 megawatts.
No. That's why I wasn't trying to do that. I was trying to say that if you need up to a certain capacity, okay, under different circumstances, then you need to have the equipment to be able to run at those things at the most efficient fuel consumption. And I'm juxtaposing smaller, multiple smaller that you could bring online as well as pull offline for maintenance or whatever, because you have enough numbers, than to have one big one go down. You follow me? Yeah, that's kind of where I was going with it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I was kind of half asleep awake. I was just waking up, so maybe that's why I wasn't fully conscious and lucid to get the full comprehension of what you were saying.
Right.
Okay, with that being said, now you also said something that made a lot of sense, which is why we're still in the problem with. You talked about when I started working in WAPA in June 2nd of 97, we had steam driven turbines. For people who don't understand, the gas turbine was auxiliary. Don't you tell them what auxiliary means?
Not primary.
Okay.
Yeah, in other, I look at it different than auxiliary. I look at it as in that because that steam was just going up into the air. That gas from them turbines was just going up into the air. We were just throwing it away.
Wait. Hold on, wait. You're talking about the exhaust alpha gas turbine that was just being exhausted into the atmosphere.
Into the atmosphere. Right.
A duct system to create a hurricane and heat.
Right.
Generator, better known as a waste heat boiler.
Right. To tap into the heat that we were otherwise throwing away.
Well, I'm glad you're saying that. It's because it's that same reason why I wrote the initiative, me and Brother Art, because we are telling them that wasted heat, which would now be used to make saturated saturated steam, which is what is sent to an IDE unit to convert to fresh, possible drinkable water. And that water, once bottled and exported for sale through a public-private partnership, will be the sustainable revenue stream that the authority needs. Right now, what the authority needs is it not cash on the barrelhead?
Well, I
What they need more than anything else?
well, you see, one of the challenges is how things are sold sometimes. For instance, the focus was on WAPA putting the local water people out of business. No, that's not what we're talking. We're talking about a product of the Virgin Islands. Hey, you want some virgin water? We got some virgin water for you. Hey, send it to Europe, send it to Africa, send it to China, send it to whoever will buy it. And it's income in that context. We're not taking anything away from the local water producers or sellers. That's all.
And that is the problem when Rocky came up with that bill. They didn't sell it to the public properly. The public wasn't educated. For the public to say, oh, WAPA gonna have an advantage because they're a bigger entity and could produce on a larger scale per gallons per day compared to a smaller company. But it's not. But that's what business is about. Doggy, you wait till the numbers. Have you seen a gas station across from a gas station across from a gas station? Have you seen a jewelry store across from a jewelry store across from a jewelry store?
Well, I understand the common sense of what you're saying, but common sense ain't always so common. Okay? The thing here is that even if WAPA produced the water, the next thing they'll say, well, WAPA ain't in the business of selling it. They don't have to be in the business. You go contract with a third party. Okay? If they get in at 10% off the top of voice soul or whatever, we don't care. All we're saying is that we have the ability to produce this water this way and to monetize it without impacting our local economy in a negative way. So why not?
Right.
Well, what people didn't realize is that a boiler was making two end products. Water goes in, you take suction, feed water, goes into the boiler. Two types of steam comes out, exit the boiler. High pressure dry steam to produce electricity in a steam-driven turbine, and low pressure saturated water went back to the IDEs to be condensed back to fresh potable water. Doggy, right now, the power plant in Manhattan, in New York City, Gotham City, Metropolis, have a 500 megawatt steam turbine where we discontinue and dismantle ours.
Well,
So let me ask you something. Is New York the biggest city in America?
Yeah.
Well,
Is New York one of the top cities on the planet?
yeah, but what?
Is New York, when it comes to innovation and whatever else, is New York not there? So if New York is at the top, remember, New York was the first to get electricity,
what I'll say to you is this, right?
From when they started it off the
For the
Niagara, when they started hydroelectricity. So let me say this here. So if New York is still using steam, why did the Virgin Islands say, oh, steam is something we should use? When
Well-
I just heard Fleming, the energy director, talking about geothermal. Geothermal is taking heat from a volcanic activity to turn water to steam to turn a steam-driven turbine.
I hear you. Especially if the water is at a certain temperature, it's even that much easier to get it heated to that point. Yeah. You know, from my perspective, WAPA does just do what WAPA does do. And you have to ask, was there some financial incentive, that we're not aware of, or some
financial incentive to discontinue something that was working efficiently and effectively as steam-driven turbines, which was also producing some of the best possible drinkable water.
Okay.
So why? I grew up hearing old people say, my mother, if they ain't broke, don't fix it.
Right. But
So why you fix something?
let me ask if
Get fixed.
the flip side of that is this, from my perspective, is this, right? If you could get two or three turbines for the price of one, okay? Because basically you're talking about, in addition to the gas slash fuel turbine, you have it now, you empower it to give you a second and third turbine running to drive electricity, without buying more fuel. So it even to this day, I can't understand it. They never came to the public and showed us the financials and how it makes more sense to do what they're doing now. It's just that they were in a position to do it. They do it, and you know what the song said? Do it and done. They do it and done. When we
Right now at St. Croix in Richmond,
yeah.
they're leasing some generators from El Greco.
Mm-hmm.
The monthly lease is 800,000. 800,000 times 12 is 96. That's $9.6 million a year.
Okay. Let me just break it down. Let me just break it down for you this way, right? Okay. We don't pay for them thing that now old and wear out so many times over. Okay.
That was why I brought that up, because I wanted you to push that as a ball point for people to
But Devon,
that's why I said it that way, because I know you were gonna bring it this way.
Anyhow,
Devon,
I got somebody on the other line.
Devon, didn't they have the opportunity to buy those same generators and they opted to lease them instead?
Who follow the money? Follow the money.
That's what I.
That's the problem with the world. And you're right, that's what you had the opportunity to purchase, but you decide to lease. So just the same thing with the tree trimming. We had tree trimmers at the line department. Why would we need to subcontract out to ASPLOM? The same thing with public works. Public works was there to do the work of the public, cut the bush, making sure that we have places to walk along the side of the road, the bush ain't coming out, fix the potholes, and then they went and fix the roads them, and then they went and subcontract that. So when they put in the bids out, who's getting the kickback? That's Douglas could say the same. Sure, everybody keeps saying the problem in the Virgin is not a money, it's a money management problem. So if it's a money management problem, then the problem is the managers who managing the money.
Yeah. And I said that earlier, follow the money.
Okay, I got somebody on the other line and time running out.
Yeah.
Anyhow, yeah, he can.
All right.
It's carnival, baby.
Yeah.
I hear that.
Yeah, happy Easter.
All right. Take care.
All right.
Good morning. Thanks for your patience.
Yes, talking quickly because I know time running up on you, but I just called Mr. Grant and I got to congratulate him. I'm glad that he called in because he and Brother Aaron planned engineers. I was transmission distribution outside plant, however, with some plant knowledge. And as you recall earlier, when we were discussing this water thing, we talked about the waste heat boilers that they take and the pest waste, they throw them away. You see? But, you know, I cannot understand for the likes of me why government officials, politicians, don't understand that they must take teaching from the people if they know that were trained for certain jobs. The politician job is not to know everything. Again, remember when you were in the Senate, you wasn't playing an electrician, you wasn't playing nothing else. You know what I mean? Your job is to make laws. You hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, okay. So now, and then I'm going to borrow some words from my leader, Delbert Board Brian. He used to say this all the time. This joke, how make it, how in Syria. I don't know if everything he just saying so to be funny. No, he's trying to tell you the thing that we're supposed to be dealing with, like training, cross-training. When I worked in the government, particularly in-house and even in WAPA, I had a time, people that would be working high tension, I put them to do metering and meter reading. I cross-train the people. I cost hell for it. And then in housing, you working in planning? No, you need to learn about for the finances and how to deal with funds and with others. I get a lot of flack because people are very guarded about their job. Remember, I even take my job. I just say, what a job? You come here and you borrow a job. There's a training that is needed for all concerned. And until we learn to understand and accept that, we're gonna get worse. I gotta see you all next week.
All right. Have a good one. Happy Easter again.
Yes, same to you.
Why? Well, it is now 10 a.m. on Thursday morning. We have come full circle. Another episode of Reflections have ended or completed. So, if you like Doug, he will always say at this time to do a random act of kindness. And even if you don't like the person, do a random act of kindness anyway. But guess what Jerry does say? Just do a random act. Hey, if they like it, they like it. If they don't like it, that's the business. You know? Because sometimes you can't please everybody. So until next time, we got what? Next week? Thursday the 9th. We'll be back here at 8 a.m. Same time, same place. Maybe a different topic, you know. But we'll be here, God's willing. And with that, hey, the marshal is here. She come to kick us out. So this is Doug and Jerry saying, peace out.
970 WSTX.
April 17th and 18th, Arch Institute youth leaders will have 2 fundraisers to help support their sharing and learning excursion to India.
On Friday evening, starting at 6 p.m., it's game night and karaoke. Come out with your entire family. It's a $5 donation fee.
On Saturday, we will have a food sale. Roast pork, chicken, fish, and a vegan menu containing all the usual trimmings. Donation of $18 per plate. We will be looking for you on April 17th and 18th at 22D Estate La Grande Princess in the yard at A Plus Signs, straight across from Titan's gas station. See you there!
Coming this